still stepping. I'm still stepping, still stepping, still stepping. I'm still stepping. Though the roads get rocky, the hills get steep. I can't run, I'm gonna walk. I can't walk, I'm gonna creep. I'm still stepping. I'm still stepping, still stepping, still stepping.
And they took me right there, from right there to jail. So they put me in a holding cell in the court from the jail, you know, because that's so it's like a market, man. The vans coming in, prisoners, jailers coming in, back, some going back, some coming. That's just how it runs, man. And this is my first time. This looked like a market to me. So anyway, in the holding cell that I was, there was a guy in there, one guy, me and him, big guy. And I'm sitting there quiet, man, because I'm thinking. The guy started talking to me, asking me some questions, like what I'm here for, you know what I mean? If my sentencing, and I started telling him what happened. And believe me, man, and that's why I believe in God. And I said the journey of a warrior, because I always feel like I'm on a journey. And God always provides somebody for me to lead me, to guide me, always. This guy started telling me everything now, what I should be doing when I get in there. He told me from A to Z, like he gave me a book. He told me there's a drug program in there. I should, you know, I'm going to go to classification and they're going to ask me all these questions. They're going to ask me if I'm in a gang. They're going to ask me if I'm scared, if I think about suicide. And he told me all that. He said, man, just be brave, man. Just tell them all these things, man. Because he said, if you're scared, they'll put you in a thing we call a chicken suit, which is like pretty much paper, because they're scared that you might, you know, commit suicide. So they don't want to give you nothing for you to use. So they put you in a suit that's just basically paper, and there's somebody watching you 24 hours a day. So, you know, he gave me everything, man. He told me everything that I should do when I go in there, man, because this is my first time. I know nothing. And I started right from the scratch. I started doing what he said, man. I went to classification. So it's like I'm talking to a psychiatrist. They asking me the same question he was telling me. Because this dude, the officers was calling to him like, hey, what's up, man? Everybody in there know him. So I guess he been going back and forth. You know what's going on. So I went to see the psychiatrist. And, you know, same thing, the guy told me, asking me, you know, if I'm in any kind of gang or affiliated, or, you know, if I ever contemplate suicide. And I told him, I said, man, I came to do my time. I knew I had to come. If I didn't want to come, I wouldn't come. I'm here to do this time and get it over with and get on with my life. You know, I said I would like to go to school and all that. I told him that. He said, okay, you sound like, you know, you just got caught up. That's what he told me. He said, you sound like a good dude, man. Like you just make some bad choices, man. I said, yes, sir. You know, so anyway, he said, okay. And that's it. They sent me back to the block that I was on. About a few weeks later, about 2 weeks later, one night they called my name. They called a few guys' name, like 6 of us. And they called my name and they said to take our belongings and come. So now I start following these, you know, the scout, like 2 of them, 2 CO, a correction officer. They led us to a cage. They led us to a cage where in that cage is a bunch of mattresses, like cots. And they told us to grab one. Each of us grab a cot. Now, I got a plastic bag with my stuff, grab the cot, throw the cot on my back, and all 6 of us walking behind each other with the cots on our back. And now I'm feeling like this gotta be a movie, man. Now I start feeling like really hurt. Because them 2 weeks that I was there, it's like that's where everybody goes when you come to the jail. The intake, they call it. It's the intake. So whatever you get arrested for, that's where you go. Some people, and it's like busy because you might just be there for an hour. You might be there for 2 hours and somebody come and bail you out. But you're just gonna sit there until you get bailed out or they send you where you're supposed to go. But everybody goes through that block. So it's busy. Now I'm meeting guys from all over. I'm meeting guys from all over the country, from all different states. Because this jail is right by George Washington Bridge. And if you know New York City, people going back and forth, hitting the turnpike with all type of things. So people get locked up from all different states over there because it's right by the bridge. So now I'm meeting guys from everywhere. That 2 weeks that I was there, I fell deeper into the streets. Now I'm already planning what I'm gonna do when I come home. Because I'm meeting all these dudes and I'm getting all these connections. Already 2 weeks in. And I'm planning for the streets when I come back out. Like, yo, I different. I'm stepping it up another notch. Because now I'm meeting all these dudes and I'm getting all these connections. So anyway, I'm walking with the cot on my back in the line with 5 other dudes. And I'm thinking like, this is like a movie, man. Like something you see in a movie. I felt sad. I felt bad for myself. I felt empty.
Did your family know you were locked up?
No, my family, well, by then they know, but they didn't. My family, I didn't tell nobody nothing. I told a few of my boys. Like my brother, if you read the book about my brother, me and my brother is like this. And I couldn't even tell my brother. My brother heard that I got locked up before, not when I just got locked up. My brother heard, somebody told my brother came to me and asked me about it, and I told him, I didn't say no, I just told him it was nothing, it wasn't nothing, it's all good. I left it at that. When I was going to court, I couldn't even tell my brother. I pled guilty, took this plea, and I couldn't tell my brother. You know, I told my brother, I said, I'm going to court tomorrow, but I'll be back, just like that. Like I couldn't tell him. So my family really didn't know. So not much people, know what was going on. But by then, that I'm talking now, I was already in there for 2 weeks now, so my brother already know. And already trying to get me out, man, because my brother ride with me. My brother was already working on trying to get me out. So now, with the mattress on our back, they took us to another block. Now, when I reach this block, believe me, in my song, I said, warriors don't cry. They say warriors don't cry. That's a lie. We get weary. We don't stop, though. Go read my story. Go read my story. Warriors cry, man. I seen killers cry. I seen, believe me, warriors cry. We all cry. When I got to that part of the jail and I realized where I was at, tears start running down my eyes. Tears start running down my eyes, man. This was like a dog cage. This how this place looked. It was like a dog cage. The ground was like dirt. Dirt. It was a dorm. So it's like 40 guys in one dorm. No cell, nothing, just open. Dangerous. The bathroom was the worst, man. The bathroom was in the open. The toilet is in the open. Everybody's seen you. Everybody's seen you, man. We human beings. The baby don't even want you to see him doing that. Not even the baby, just born. And I'm telling you, man, in this place, in front of everybody, man, you're using the bathroom. Yeah. It touched the deepest part of my soul. I can't even explain it to you. I called my brother on the phone and I said to my brother, you got to get me out of here, man. Yeah, I called my brother because for the 2 weeks I was like, yo, I'm good, man. Everything good. When I reached there, man, I called him on the phone, the pay phone in there. I called him. I said, man, listen, you got to get me out of here, man. You got to get me out of here. All right. He said, I'm working on it. God on my side, always. You know what I mean? God always on my side. I was in there for 3 days. I think 3 days. I heard them call my name again. And they said, get my stuff. Pick the mattress up. Now I pick the mattress up, throw it on my back again. They took me to the cage to put the mattress back in the cage and send me to another block. When I got to that block, they said it was the working block. I was accepted in the work program. So I'm just moving through the system. So the workers stay on one block. All the workers, they have a block for them that, they have people that wake you up and, you're going back and forth. Your block is different. Now, when I got there, this place is nice. It's clean. From where I'm coming from, I'm happy now. I'm happy now. This place is clean. I'm in a cell. I'm in a cell with another guy. Two of us, we go out in the open, they got a little area where you gather if it's not time for you to be in your cell. But you have your cell if you want to go in there, go in there and chill. If you want to lay down, you lay down. So now I'm feeling comfortable again after that 3 days, man. But that 3 days, I think it was just an experience, man. The journey of a warrior. It's like I had to see that. That was like at the bottom of the jail, man. That was the ghetto of the jail. The jail is like a world. It's a world running inside there, man. It's a whole world going on inside the prison system that nobody knows about. People don't know nothing about it, man. So on that block, it was like the ghetto of the jail. So I was glad to get out of there. Anything would be better than there. You at the bottom right there. So now I'm coming back up. I went on the work block. They told me I'm going to start working in a few days, the process, the paperwork and everything setting up. So no, I'm just there. I'm not working. Everybody else going back and forth, different shifts in the kitchen, whatever you got to do. So I'm there for what? Like a week. I think I'm there for like a week. They called my name again.
And what was your job?
I didn't even get a job. I didn't get a job yet. I didn't start working because I'm still waiting on them to assign me to a job. And believe me, I was like, the longer they take was better for me because they waking you up. They waking the guys up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, because you got to go to the kitchen to make breakfast, to set up breakfast and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, but anyway, I didn't get a job. Before I got a job, they called my name. And they said I was accepted in the drug program. So now, remember now, I'm a little bit over 3 weeks. I think I'm going to probably what? I'm into like a month now in jail. Somewhere there. Yeah, somewhere there, a little bit over a month, but somewhere in there. But I'm just going through the system now. Now I'm accepted in the drug program. Because remember, the guy told me in the cell that I should, try to get in the drug program. Because in the drug program, like it's my first time, I seem like a good dude. He said, you could go back for a reconsideration of your sentence after you finish the program. And the judge will probably send you home. So I was like, okay, that sounds good because I'm trying to go home. So that's why I signed up for the program. So anyway, I get accepted into the drug program. They told me I got to give everything away. The cigarettes. I got to tell you about the cigarette too. As soon as I got to jail, I realized that cigarette was the money in there. Remember, I'm a hustler now. I don't smoke cigarette, you know what I mean? Someone even bet me, a guy, my cellie, the guy that with me in the cell, he bet me that, yo, you gonna smoke cigarette before you leave here, I guarantee you that. And I promised him, I said, man, I'll never smoke no cigarette, I promise you that, man. So anyway, I was buying cigarette though, because with cigarette, you could get anything you want in there. You know what I mean? With cigarette, I get an extra tray. With cigarette, I get some soups, any kind of food. You get, I get some Ensure. Whatever the cigarette is the currency, man. So I started buying cigarette to just use to take care of myself and just to move through. So when I was going to the drug program, they said, yo, I got to give away all the cigarette. Those cigarette can't go over there. They check your belongings and they tell you what can't go. The mouthwash, and stuff like that. A couple things that can't go over there. So anyway, they took all that stuff, took me over to the drug program. The drug program now, you're separated from the population, from regular population in the drug program. You have no contact with nobody else in the population. So in the drug program, you have a refrigerator. First thing, it's a dorm. It's a dorm. And, it's like 30 guys in the dorm. Very clean. Carpet. You have a refrigerator, a microwave, a TV, computers. Beautiful. Clean. Very nice place, man. In the drug program, there's a lot of rules that comes with it. That's why a lot of people get kicked out and stuff like that, because you got a strict rule. You got a time to get up, time to go to bed, time you got to fold, make sure your bed is spread. When you get up in the morning, you cannot go back in that bed until it's bedtime again at night. You got to go to school, you got to go to counseling, group therapy, and individual You got to go to AA and NA meetings. So all these things, it's a strict program, man. You move it. It's like a camp. You have something to do. You have a schedule. Right through the day, there's a schedule. On the weekends, you get to sit around. You know, on the weekends, you got probably an AA meeting, but on the weekends, you get to relax a little bit. So anyway, when I got to the program, start going to school, start meeting, you know, some other guys, and man, listen, very quick, real quick, I started feeling a change in myself, real quick. Because remember, I was raised in the church. I just made a turn. I made a turn, but I had a good foundation. It was there. So once I started talking to the counselors, I started reading, everything started slowly coming to me, man. I know what they're talking about, right? I know what they're talking about. I started paying attention, but I'm still thinking about going home now. Don't forget that. I want this reconsideration of sentence. It's a 30-day program. You complete the curriculum in 30 days, right? No, in 90 days, I should say. Excuse me. It's a 90-day program, right? That's 3 months. So after 3 months, you could go to the work program. That means you move out of the drug program, go on a block, go back to where the workers go, and now you could get to go on the street. Because if you finish the program successfully, they think you're good. You know what I mean? So you could go on the highway and stuff like that to clean up, like the work details outside of the jail. Or people get released to go do their job and come back and sleep at night, stuff like that. So I went through the 30 day. I went to school. You know, I'm going to school. The teacher come from the county college to teach a GED. I got my GED in jail. I got a couple certificate, Microsoft, Word, Excel. I'm going to meditation. I'm going to church. I'm going to the mosque because I'm getting involved in everything. I'm getting involved in everything, man. You know, I listen to the pastor that comes in, and I go to listen to the imam when he comes, and I'm feeding on everything right now. You know, one of the I talked about it in the book. The sheriff he's the, what do you call him now? He's not the director, but the head sheriff for the drug program. One day he gave me a book. He came to me and he said, me and him was real cool. I get along with people. They like me because, you know, I'm well-mannered. I'm well-mannered, and I wasn't, you know, I'm really trying to learn. And they see that. He told me, he said, I have this book reading, and when I'm done, I'm going to give it to you. I'm not supposed to, but I really think this book could help you, right? So I started reading. I started reading a lot more now, and started writing because we had to write. We had to write. Look, these are my stuff right here from that I brought home from jail. I'll show you real quick. This right here is the full curriculum of the program. This right here, full curriculum, because there's a curriculum. They set it up strategically. They start breaking you down and breaking you down, and they build you. So right now, look, like the first segment was about perception and priorities. That's what they start with, perception and priorities. Then we go to choices and consequences. So, you know, I'm not going to go over that right now, but just to show you, I was in the program for 30 days, right? And they asked me what I wanted to do, basically. I said I wanted to stay, and they don't really allow that. But now I was so deep in it and they see it, I was actually helping with the other guys coming in. They start calling me junior counselor because I picked up on it so quick and believed it. You know what I mean? I believed it because I know what's right. I knew what's right before I got into the streets and started selling drugs, man. I knew it wasn't right? But I got caught up in the moment. I got caught up in the darkness, just like that, and was getting deeper and deeper into it. But now that I got to this program, it started coming back. My foundation, everything that my dad was saying, things that I learned, everything that I seen that happened to my friends around me. Because it's not like you don't know, you see what's happening, but it's like you're blind to it. When I went to New York, it was clear that I should go home. I could not get nothing. I couldn't find nothing, but I was just pushing it. The cop ended up telling me it was a sting operation. The cop said, yo, it's a sting operation. We see you. We was watching you. We watch you go here, go there. He said, they told me to pull you over. They watching you. It's a connection, a cross-border connection, a sting operation. And that's why nobody wasn't out. That's why all the places was closed down, because they knew. And that's what, but I wasn't paying attention. Darkness. All I'm thinking is about the money, to go back, to make this money. Blind. So anyway, same thing in the streets. I was blind to everything. Now everything started coming back to me. There's always a light. There's always a light. The brightness, the light started clearing up. Everything started clearing up to me right now. I'm seeing it clear what was going on. I was mad when I got locked up. Man, when I got locked up, I was the type of person that I pray. I pray everything I'm doing, I pray. I pray when I'm going to New York to get drugs. I pray. That's so, I don't know if it's sick or that's how much I believe in God. You know, that's how much I believe in God, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to go get drugs to hurt other people, and I'm asking God to go with me. So anyway, when I got locked up, I stopped praying. When I got locked up July 1st, I pretty much, like I said, man, I stopped praying, man. I'm thinking, God, oh God, that has happened to me and all that. So now I'm in the program. I'm start seeing all that clear now. Everything started coming to me. I had to get locked up. I had to. God, you know, it's a journey. Sometimes I don't want to say God did it, but man, I have to say God did it, man. God did it. Because I was slipping, I was drifting, I was sliding down in the darkness. And now I got locked up, man, when I'm in the drug program. Now I'm like, wow, everything started coming. I seen all kinds of disasters and destructions and everything that happened around the drug game. But I was not paying attention. Now I'm seeing it clear now that I'm sitting there in jail. Thankfully to God. But anyway, after the 30-day finish, I told them I'm good, I'll stay. Listen, guys coming in and out of this program, guys getting kicked out. They asked me, yo, why are you in here, man? When you go out there, you're free. When you're in the regular population, you could go to lay down when you want to, you could get up when you want to, do whatever you want to, you know what I mean? No strict rules, smoke, cigarette, do what you're doing. Whatever you want to do. Now in this program, it's strict. It's a rule. I can handle that. I grew up like that. So that wasn't no problem for me. Actually, I love it. Man, come on, I got microwave, I got refrigerator, I got all these things, you know what I mean? So I was good. I'm learning. I'm going to school. A lot of them, they gone. They said some of them, they get kicked out, some acts, because you got to be there on your own will. So if you ask them, you told them if you tell them you want to go, they just arrange it and you go back. It's actually better you tell them you want to go than get kicked out, because when you get kicked out, it goes against your record in the jail. So if you got to go to parole or whatever you're trying to do, that's like a charge, for you on your record. So it's actually better you ask to go. So anyway, I finished the 30 days. Now I start over the curriculum, because that's just how it goes. It's a 90-day, I should say, 90 days. I finished the 90-day, the 3 months. So now I'm still there. So that's how I end up with these papers. Because the first time around, I had to do, you get worksheets and stuff. So I had to turn it in. And then they give it back to you, but it have all types of writing and corrections on it. So the next cycle around the curriculum, they told me that I didn't have to do the work. I could just, I'm there just listening and participating, but I didn't actually have to do the work. So now when they give me the sheets, I just store them because, listen, right there and then, I knew that this was very valuable. I'm thinking to myself, man, I could change the world with these paperworks, man. I could change the world with what I'm learning here right now. I got lots of friends, man. I got lots of people out here in the streets that I need to talk to. So I know these papers, man, was valuable, man. So I started saving them. Every time they give me one, I stocked it and I kept the old curriculum, man. This was 25 years ago. 25 years ago, and I still have these things. Because what? I want to help. Because I know it's not easy for all those that's going through different difficulties. You know, I know the public look at people and say, yo, they go to jail, they come back, they didn't change, they don't change. Nah. I'm going to talk to you about that in a little bit. But anyway, in the program, we had to keep a diary. That's mandatory. That's one of the things that's mandatory. They tell you, write something down every day. We don't care what you write. We're not telling you write something. So you assign to a counselor. There's like 3 counselors, and you have an individual counselor too that will check on you. You have your one-on-one counseling with. So that counselor could at any time ask you for your journal. They're not reading what you write. They just want to see the date and see if you're actually writing anything. They don't read it. So these are the pads they give you to keep your as diary, to write this stuff down. Look, I end up with 3 pads. 3. And I knew these was valuable too. I could have thrown them in the garbage. You don't have to carry it out with you. You could throw it in the garbage where you leave it. But I did not. I knew these was valuable to me.
So during the program, is that when you became like a lyricist, a poet? Is that when you found your passion, or you've already had it?
Good question. No, I love music. I love music, man. My dad was a musician, man. I grew up in the church, you know? So you know church go on Sunday schools and stuff. We go up and sing. I used to love it. I love that. So anyway, I was doing music. I was writing music, you know, DJing on the mic and stuff like that. If you read the book, you'll read all about that in the book. I love music. I've been doing music for years, but just for fun, just because I love it, right? When I got to jail now, and I'm in the program, so all this that I'm talking about right now, it helped me in all aspects of my life, in every aspect. So now with my writing, I was in jail writing now, man, writing about my experience, writing music. I never used to write, I just freestyle. Now in there, that's when the real, I start taking it serious. I start writing poems, I start writing my feelings. It goes back to the diary. After writing I was in this program for I spent the rest of my time in the program. So remember I told you I went in there to get a reconsideration? To try to. After the 90-day finish and I finished the program, this first cycle, we filed for a reconsideration, a sentence. And the judge basically turned it down because he telling me, the judge said they want to put me in an inpatient program on the street for over another a year or something. So, I said, man, listen, I told my brother, I said, no, I'm going to just stay here because at this point, I only have probably another 2-3 months in jail. So now I'm I prefer to stay here for the next 3 months than go into another inpatient program for all that time again. So I decided, all right, I'm not going to take that. I'm going to stay and finish up. So I spent probably over 7 months in the drug program. In the 3-month program, I was there for 7 months. I did the cycle over and over again. Like I said, I got my GED. I got some certificates in Microsoft, Word, Excel. I did some things, right? And let me say this. I said, The Journey of a Warrior, you got to read this book. And I told you, I felt something special about myself from when I was a kid. And let me tell you this. While I was in the program, I ended up going on the street 3 different times, I think. 3 different times. I went out on the street to speak to other people, to speak to kids. I went to a high school to speak to the kids. They asked me if I would go, and I said, yeah, I would love to. Because like I said, now everything coming back to me, man. So I'm talking to you today, but believe me, 25 years ago, while I was in jail, I went out and spoke 3 different times with the undersheriff. I walked into a Dunkin' Donut. I walked into a Dunkin' Donut while I was in jail. Me and the sheriff officer, he transported me to a place to speak. And he stopped at Dunkin' Donut. He called me Walker. He said, Walker, come on. Now I'm feeling weird. I'm in my jumpsuit with the jail on the back. And, everybody know I'm an inmate. I'm here with the officer. We walk into Dunkin' Donut. He said, Walker, what you want? I'm not a donut fan, but I don't want to act too excited either. I just, I'll get a donut, man. I took a donut. People in Dunkin' Donut looking at me, I went to the high school to speak to the kids, and I could feel the energy. The kids felt sorry for me. I remember one of the kids asked me if I don't miss my family, because, I was much younger then. That's 25 years ago, and I was happy to share my story with them. So I've been sharing this. That's why I said this series is very personal to me. This series right here, I was doing this. I know you heard about cancer and I talked to you about cancer. No, I was doing this way before cancer. This is 25 years ago I'm talking about, right? This message is a message that I've been sharing with kids in my neighborhood. I share it with my friends. I talk to them about drugs, and this is not just about drugs. This is about whatever you out here doing wrong. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I spent 7 months in the program. I spent 7 months in the program, right? And I came home. When I was leaving the jail.
So wait. You have to touch on the topic because a lot of people know you for working out and having a nice body. So when I was reading the book, I learned that that's when working out and exercise became very important.
Oh, man. How can I forget that? How can I forget that? See, that's why she's my co-host, That's why she's my co-host. Because right now I left a very important part out. Working out, as she said. Listen, I used to do my push-ups, especially when we're on the block. You know it is. After a joint and a few beers, everybody doing push-up and pull-ups. It's just an ego thing, I guess. But I love staying fit. But no, I was never into exercise like that. Some push-ups and stuff like that. While I was in the program, I started working out. Everybody works out, and I started loving it. Right? Was working out, push-up. We go out in the yard. You have to participate in exercise programs. Exercising is part of the program. So you have to participate. You can't say, I'm not going outside today. If you say you're not going outside today, the counselor going to check you, ask you what's going on, see if you're feeling sick or anything like that, or what, because you're supposed to participate. So anyway, I started working out, man, and I love it. It started taking away all the negative thoughts. And I started loving it, man. I can't wait. I do push-up at night. There was a few of us. There was a few guys, and we go in the back of the dorm and do push-ups on the carpet. And I joined them. I started doing push-ups at night. I love it. So anyway, I mentioned it in the book. One day we was outside because part of the paperwork, it talk about commitment in part of this paperwork. We do a segment about commitment. And then we have to do the worksheet. And they ask you to commit to something. Short term, long term, So while we was outside in the yard one day working out, my counselor called me to the side and he said, Dervin, she was a lady, nice lady. She said, it seems like you love working out. Why don't you choose working out as your commitment? Man, right there, I said, that's it. That's it. That's what it's going to be. So I put it in the paperwork. I said, workout. I'm committed to that. For the rest of my life, I'm committed to working out. And that's when, once I made that commitment, man, it never leave my mind. I commit to do that. But anyway, I love it. But the days are the times that I fell off a few times. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to take a break. Because after I came home, I'm still working out. Because now it's like I'm addicted to it now. I love it. But there was times when I tell myself I'm going to take a break. And 2 weeks to turn 2 months, and I got to remember that commitment that I made to my counselor and to all these people. Because we got to read it out. Everybody read it out to the group and we talk about it. So I'm like, I made this commitment to all these people, and I made it to myself. Most importantly, I made it to myself. They're not gonna know. I don't know where these people at. They don't know where I'm at, what I'm doing. Me, I made it to myself, and I don't want to let myself down. So I always go back. But that's when I started working out, and that becomes part of my routine right now, because working out, we're going to touch on that too. Working out for me, as you know, we talk about that. You working out with me, you working out on your own. Now I feel like you got it and understand what I'm saying. And I love for you guys to always remember that working out is not about losing weight. A lot of people it's like it's either you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to get big. Nah, working out is way more than that. Working out for me is more for my mind. Working out goes with all this, with everything, because my mind, and it kept me positive in there. So now I'm on the street, it's still keeping me positive. So now, back to where I say I spent 7 months in the program, and now I got parole. Parole came to see me, they approved my parole, so now I'm going home, right? I talk about the visiting, my brother. Can't stop talking about my brother. My brother was right there with me. Let me tell you something about my brother, right? I'm in jail and people arguing, people telling me, complaining about their family and their friends on the street. How much they're not accepting their calls and they're not coming to see them. They're not contact. Just about, man, most people in there have that complaint. On my part, my brother was complaining to me. Because, in there, I'm not trying to talk. I'm not trying to, the more you're attached to the street, the tougher it is. And I started realizing that real quick. So now I'm just like, I don't want to really talk to nobody out there. I'm just here doing my time. I'm just want to focus. I don't want to hear what's going on outside, because it takes a toll on my mind. So now I'm good. I'm taking care of myself. I'm good. So I'm not calling my brother. I'm here, I'm good. I call him every so often. My brother, like, nah, man, you gotta call me. I need to know what's going on. People asking about you, I can't even answer them. Because my brother gonna keep it real now. My brother ain't gonna fake nothing. And I understood what he was saying. So, I started trying to call him, and he's not feeding me with nothing from the street. So it was cool. But he was arguing with me. My brother been riding with me all my life. So my brother gonna come see me. I'll be like, just to see me, he gonna come see me. I got some friends that come see me. So I was good. I didn't have much complaint, man, because now I know that it was on me. I was blaming God when I got in. That's how sick this thing was. I was blaming God. And now I know it was me, man. It was all me. I should have seen it. It was my mistake. It was my bad choice. So no, I accept that. So I wasn't worried about nobody or what going on the street, man. And I wasn't complaining. So after 7 months, the parole board came. They approved my parole, and now I'm going home. They had a little graduation for me. I talked about that in the book too. One of the counselor walked up to me. He talked to me. He gave me a little talk, and he gave me a coin. It's a little copper coin, brass. It's like brass, not copper, like brass. And it has the Serenity Prayer on one side of it, because that program is kind of based off the 12-step program, Narcotics for Who Know, the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous, right? So now we have the Serenity Prayer on the back, and he told me, he said, before you go back to that lifestyle, swallow this, man. That's what he told me. He said, before you go back to that lifestyle, swallow this coin, right? I still have that coin too. I'll show you one day. I should have bring it with me, a little round coin. So anyway, I came home, and now I'm back outside. Remember, go subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first one to know when we drop the next episode of this Drugs, Jail, and Consequences series. Stay blessed and keep stepping.